What's up, y'all? We are back again, and we are doing a running back tier list today. And so I did an NFL teams tier list the other day, yesterday, to get things started on this little series that I'm trying to get going, where I can get some more specifics, talking into players and stuff, ranking them and all that. And so I'm gonna go through running backs. I'm gonna do quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, I think, and then we'll start getting more into different things. We'll do like defense. We could even do specifics like linebackers and stuff. So let me know what you're interested in the comments, and I'll try to make it work the best I can and do whatever you guys are interested in, because that's really what I want to do, is create content that y'all find interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping to get some people in here and really just have some fun conversations, fun videos. So if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into talking ball and hearing about that, like and subscribe right now. And I'm gonna keep rolling stuff in hot. Anyways, guys. So let's get started right away. We have S through D tier. If y'all aren't familiar with that, S is the best, D is the worst. S is like elite, A is very good, B, good, solid, C, mid, D, booty. So that's a not very good player. They're buns. So let's get started right away. Saquon, I'm gonna put him in S after last year. He had a great season, super productive, super happy for him to come back, solid man. Gus Edwards, I actually think he's a C to me. I think he's like mid. I mean, he's okay. He's functional. He just can't stay healthy either. That's part of his issue. Nick Chubb, dude, he is the epitome of S tier to me, dude. He has been so productive, so consistently, nonstop. So yeah, credit to him for being a stud. Absolutely, he's so good, bro. So good. Kenyon Drake, I think he's not very good. He's had some good times in his career, but I just think he's kind of going down the backside of it. I don't think he's going to be that much special. J.K. Dobbins, I actually think is B. He's going to be a low end B by the time this list is done. But to me, what sets him, he just has so many injuries. I think he has the potential to be really good, though. But right now he's B, but I think he has the talent to be a low end A player if he finally stayed healthy. But I don't see that happening, so he's going to be a low end B tier for now. Mike Davis, I'm not gonna rank. He'd just be. I mean, I guess I will. He'll be booty. Samaje Perine, dude, he is a strong. Can I flip him, dude? Come on. Okay, goodness. Samaje Perine's a really good player. He's a really good running back, I think. I'm not gonna put him in A because I think there's too many guys that I'd put ahead of him and start, but he's a stupid good backup. When Joe Mixon was not playing, he actually outperformed Joe Mixon in my opinion last season. So, but yeah, all that was it was pretty crazy. Great year for him last year filling in, and he's with the Broncos now to kind of play a bit while their guy here, Javonte Williams, is getting healthy. Speaking of which, I'll throw him in. I think he's literally gonna. I low key think he's a low end A tier player, but I'm gonna keep him top of B. I might move him up for now in a little bit, but I really like him. If he stayed healthy, I think he would have had a crazy season last year, man. All right, man. Yikes, bro. He's going. I'll put him as a low end C tier player, man. Here. I'm literally blinking on his name so hard. I know him. He's a guy they drafted a couple years ago after Devin Singletary, and I think they wanted to replace Devin Singletary with him, but he just didn't turn out that great. So they traded him to the Colts this year in the package with Naheem Hines. I'm blanking so hard. Maybe I'll remember later, but he's kind of just a mid player. He's solid. Sorry, Bills fans. I sound like a casual right now. I promise I know who this is, but blanking on the name. He's okay, just kind of mid. Devin Singletary, I think he's a B tier player. I'll put him, right in kind of this range because he's I think outperformed J.K. Dobbins career wise because he's a consistent guy. I mean, he's gotten like somewhere between like 700 to 900 yards, I think, each of the last like 3-4 years. I mean, he's just been really solid. I think he's gonna be a great rotational back for the Texans this year. Christian McCaffrey, clear S. I'm having to split these two. I think he's the most talented and overall productive of the three, but Nick Chubb's been consistent and healthy way more than these guys. But he's so good. Christian McCaffrey is such a good player. James Cook, he hasn't shown much at all. So I'm gonna put him as like a high end mid player because he just hasn't proven anything. But I think he has the talent to be a B tier player this year for sure, especially in a bigger role, hopefully. I believe this is D'Ernest Johnson. I'm gonna put him at kind of this mid role too. He had one game that he started and went like crazy in. I think he's got a lot of talent, but he just hasn't really had the opportunity to start or do anything more than be a third string running back for the Browns. So I mean, maybe he can play somewhere else a little bit, but we'll see. He might be a free agent right now too. I don't even know, but he played really good in that one game he played. So I'll give him mid for that spotlight. Uh, let's see here, man. Our kicker, our kicker coming in, man. No, horrible situation, but he balled out as a rookie on the Chiefs, man, and I think he's such a good player, but he's a free agent now. He's getting older. I don't know really what his next stop will be, what his next role will be. I think he'll probably stick to being a backup on a team now, just simply because of the fact that he's getting older. But man, it's brutal that his career kind of got sidelined due to his off the field issues, which I mean he definitely controlled. So yeah, not great. Melvin Gordon here, put him bottom of like in this range of C. I think he can do something for help a team. He can be an okay backup. His prime's behind him, but he was really good in his prime. So props to him. He had a good career. If he keeps playing this year, I think he'll be mid on a team as a backup, but you can't blame him, man. He's getting older and he had a great career at the Chargers and early at the Broncos. So props to him, man. Joe Mixon, I want to put him A, and I probably will. He'll probably be low end A, but I think he's on this way on the downward. But that's just because, again, dude, he's getting older. I think he's only like 27, but like he's had such high volume of touches each of the last few years, and it just catches up to you eventually, man. But he's a good player. Hopefully, he can have a rebound season and prove me wrong. But he has a huge cap hit. I don't know if he'll be on the Bengals much more than this season or even at this season if his cap hit's so heavy and he's a running back on the decline. So we'll see what happens there. But King Henry, he's going right in here. I mean, I don't know where I'd rank. I'm not going to do a perfect ranking system among everyone. It's just kind of the gist idea of where I think he slots. And I think he slots in ahead of Saquon for sure, but below Nick Chubb for me, mostly due to he kind of just I just love Nick Chubb. That's the thing. He just gets so many more opportunities than Nick Chubb. I think if Nick Chubb was in the offense, he'd do just as much, if not more. But that's just my opinion. And he's been even more healthy than Derrick Henry. But they're all elite players. That's why they're in S tier. The elite of the elite. Dameon Pierce, I think he's already in A tier after last season. He got injured, but he was having such a good year already, man. I should know I got him in like the 10th round of fantasy or ninth round going into the season. We drafted pretty early, I think, and I felt like I sniped him, and he ended up being really good for me. But he's a beast, dude. He has such good contact balance and everything. It's just crazy to watch him play. Such a good player. Excited for him next year. Rex Burkhead, he's going in the meh, the bad, the booty, the buns. Nyheim Hines, I think he's a C tier player and he has return value. Good player. I mean, he contributes to a team, but he's not going to be a starter. That's why he's just going to go in the mid category. Jonathan Taylor, he had a great season. That would have had him S going into last year, but because last year was such a drop off, plus he battled injuries, he's going to go on A tier for now, and we'll see what happens with him later. I think this is JaMychal Hasty. I don't feel any type of way about him. He's going to go there. Oh man, dude, he can. This guy, man, I'm blanking on names so bad today, but he came into the league on fire and really just like was a stud as a rookie. Came into his second year playing well. It just happens that they had drafted Travis Etienne, so he kind of got hoed here. But he is such a good player, man. Top of C for now because he didn't do anything for the Jets. He didn't really end up becoming a role player. So I wonder. Oh, James Robinson, yeah, duh. So I don't know what's gonna be in store for him in the future. I think he signed with the team. I forget who, but I think he'll just be kind of a backup player now. So I'm gonna put him top of mid, but man, he was definitely a B low end A player for a year or two there. Travis Etienne, I'm immediately putting him in A, and I'm putting him ahead of Joe Mixon. He had such a good year last year, and I think sky's the limit for bro. I mean, he had over 5 yards of carry on over 200 carries. That's tough to do, man. Ronald Jones, I don't think too much of him. I mean, he had a couple good seasons or solid, productive years, but I think he's just pretty bad now. But I think he's good enough to hold a roster spot, be a backup, maybe a third stringer. Oh man, dude, I have such a hard time with him, man. I feel like he's had flashes of being solid, but he just has never been good enough to merit that first round pick for sure. But he's going to be in this C tier because he's done things at times in his career and he's still young, but nothing more than that. Jerick McKinnon, dude, such a good receiving back. He's going to go and be, he contributes well to the offense. That's his main thing is out of the backfield. He's a great mover with the ball in his hands. He catches the ball naturally, gets open. He's a matchup nightmare, I think, out of the backfield. Plays a great role for the Chiefs. That gets you a good score for me, man. And he kicked up his rushing production towards the back end of the year. Really helped that team. Kenneth Walker, I think he goes into A tier right here with Dameon Pierce, right? And, thereabouts. I'll just give him the nod over Pierce because I think he's more overall talented and he stayed healthy for more of the season. Had a full 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, starting 11 games. But because Rashad Penny was a starter for the beginning of the season, but dude, he's a stud, so explosive. I'm a Seahawks fan, so of course I'm going to say that. But dude, he had a great year. I think most people can see that. Sonny Michel had a good start to his career. I think he's kind of in this bad category now. Just he's getting older, slower, not that great. But great for them that he got a Super Bowl ring. And then this guy, man, I'm blanking on his name so hard, but he was the Buccaneers backup running back behind Leonard Fournette, and then eventually kind of took over the starting role. Rashad White. I'm gonna put him top of C because again, he hasn't proven too much yet, but I think he'll be a B tier player this year for certain. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But it'll be neat to see, man. All right, next, Joshua Kelly. I don't think too much of him. I think he's okay. I mean, he's gonna hold a roster spot. That's kind of what this is. You can hold a roster spot maybe, but you're not gonna do anything special, and that's what I feel about him. Austin Eckler, dude, S tier player, right in here. I mean, his balance between being a receiving back and running back is so elite that no one can keep up with that. It's just that's special to me. Josh Jacobs, I think he's top A tier. He had arguably the most productive running season of a running back this last season overall, if you count balance the amount of touches he got in that offense, as well as he did some things well out of the backfield as well. Great fantasy back. Most people got a steal out of him. Great player. Top A. I think if he put down one more good season similar to that, he'd be an S tier. But before that, he's just been a really strong back. I think he's a great running back. I don't know if anyone else is going to crack this top five here. More like crack the S tier, because I think top five is pretty much what I view as elite, and I think he's right on the cusp of that. I could argue him or Saquon, in my opinion, because of the fact that Saquon's battled injury, but I think Saquon's had more juice, just talent. And so when he's on the field, I'm going to trust him, but Jacob's definitely been more consistent because he stayed healthier. Oh my gosh, I would know who this is. I'm just blanking again. Oh, it's something Bolden, I think, right? So maybe. He's a D tier player. I don't care about him. He's just bad. Meh. Chase Edmonds, he's mid. I'll put him as a mid player. I don't view too much of him. He's okay. He'll have a roster spot. He signed with the Broncos, I think, or he got traded to the Broncos. Maybe he signed somewhere else. We'll see what happens. Myles Gaskin, I love dude because he came out of UW, out of UW, but he also grew up in the Washington area, Seattle area, and that's where I was born and stuff. So that's cool. But other than that, there's not too much to it. He's been mid in the NFL. He's had moments of being okay, but that's about it. Raheem Mostert, B tier running back. I think he belongs somewhere in here. Solid season, good player. Not too much more than that. Isaiah Pacheco, great for a rookie, man. He's going to go right here next to Jerick McKinnon. I think they had equal skill and contribution, just in different ways, honestly. He's definitely had a lot less in the receiving game, but Jerick McKinnon had way more receptions and receiving touchdowns. He had like 9 receiving touchdowns. Crazy. I think they have a great little duo for the way they kind of contrast each other in play style. Damian Harris, I think low B tier, solid player, going to do okay for the Bills. Ramondre Stevenson had a great season, man. I'm gonna put him as an A, kind of this low end A tier, but he had a great year. I mean, he might be more in like this range. I think the way that I would order it is I'd put Joe Mixon at kind of the bottom of A tier now because he's declining, but great stuff for them, man. Michael Carter, I'll put him as a kind of low mid. Breece Hall, he showed enough that he's low A for me. If he stayed healthy the whole season, he'd definitely move up higher this list, but I just know he's good enough to be there, so I'm going to put him there. But he had such a great start to the season. I think like him to Javonte Williams is kind of the gap here and where I'd put it. Oh my gosh, Jaylen Warren or something like that. I mean, he's mid. He'll contribute something to a team. I'll throw him right in the middle of that pack because I think he might be better than this low end of it, but solid stuff for him. Yeah. Najee Harris. Dude, he's so hard for me. I think he's kind of a high-end B player. He's good. He's just when I watch him play, I don't see anything special, but he's really good out of the backfield. He just isn't crazy athletic, but he's big, strong, reliable. I think that's a good player. I just don't think he was worth a first-round pick, but good player. All right. I think this is Dontrell Hilliard. I'll put him bottom of C because he's had moments where he's been solid as a backup. Benjamin, I'm going to put him towards the D now. He used to be more of a C player, but I think he's kind of just fallen off. That hasn't done much. Antonio Gibson, he's a B, low B for me. But I loved him coming into the league because he played some receiver in college. I thought he was an interesting guy. Ezekiel Elliott, I'll put him in that same B tier now with his career. Probably belongs somewhere in here, but he's had a great career. He's just losing steps now. So nothing against him. James Conner, low B. Same type of thing. Good career. Not as good as Zeke's definitely, but he's been decent and he's just kind of fallen off now. Let's see. Man, I'm blanking on who this is, but probably gonna put him in D2. I know that I've played him because we've played him as a Seahawks team, but he's on the Cardinals. I just don't remember him, honestly. Probably another one of their mid running backs through the rotation. Oh man, Tyler Algier, man. I'm gonna put him in this B, this upper B. Very efficient runner, very good player. Hasn't shown enough to be like an A-tier guy or anything like that. Not a big enough role, but I view him very similar to Samaje Perine, where he did great in his role in that offense. Cordero Patterson, I think, is going to be in that strong B tier as well. You could argue A tier like the year before last, but I think he's just a solid, good gadget on a team. Oh, Dalvin Cook. I don't think he's part of the elite anymore, but I think he's a strong, really good running back still. I mean, like 1,200 yards or something like that last year. I don't know how many touchdowns, maybe like 10. I don't know, just guessing. But really good player. I just don't think he belongs in the top five anymore. I think all these guys are definitely better than him, but he's very, very, very good. I mean, I think he's top 8 is where I'd put him for sure. Definitely top 10. Good player. Chuba Hubbard, mid. Um, ooh, Deontay Foreman, I'll put low B. He did some good things. Chuba Hubbard is kind of like just a worse tier to him. I mean, that's why I think is they had a good, okay duo between the two of them at Carolina. But Foreman's definitely the better player. All right, man. Let's see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, David Montgomery. I'll put him in B. Kind of this range here, right above Devin Singletary. Good player. Good player. Good signing for the Lions, I guess. I wish they kept their boy Jamal Williams, who I will put right there in B as well, who got signed for less money. So I don't really understand that. But I think they're fairly equal talented players, but I guess I just liked how Jamal Williams fit that locker room and everything. Latavius Murray, he's mid now. That's just kind of where he is in his career, but I'll put him right there. He had a good career though. He's just getting old and slow. So, good for him. Khalil Herbert, I put him right in the same window of kind of a Devin Singletary-esque player for now, just because he hasn't had the opportunity to be the guy yet, but he's a really good young runner. But I think he's got more talent than Devin Singletary. Tony Pollard, he's an A-tier player now. Right in the middle of this pack to me. He balled out this last year, man. Swift, high tier B, he just can't stay healthy. That's the issue for him. Aaron Jones, definitely A. We got a lot of good players out here, man. So that's the deal. AJ Dillon, we're going to start speed round, and he's going into B. Good, strong power runner. Good stuff, man. Cam Akers, mid. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, but he's also kind of low mid. He can start a couple games and not suck. So yeah, Alexander Mattison, I think he's mid, but he's been a really good backup. So props to him. Rashad Penny, this might be shocking because he just can't stay healthy, but I think he's a B tier player, man. I really think he's so talented. I think if he starts for the Eagles and stays healthy, he's gonna have a crazy season. Alvin Kamara, I'm gonna put him no, I'll put him low A. He just didn't play well last year, but hopefully he can rebound. Let's see. Mark Ingram, he's mid at this point in his career, but had a really good career. Matt Breida, he's bad now, but he had a good solid backup career. Miles Sanders, dude, he belongs in A as well. Sorry, I got to scroll up. He's not staying B, but I think this, Sprague had a great season last year, man. Stayed healthy, made the Pro Bowl, good stuff. I think this is Boston Scott. He's, I'll put him low C. Good player. I mean, been okay as a role player for them. Brian Robinson, yeah, I mean, I think he's mid, but he has a really cool story. I'm glad for him that he's okay and that he's in the league, but I don't think he's super crazy good or anything, but I think he's okay. Oh my gosh, this is the dude that Trey Sermon. I'll give him mid, but he hasn't shown anything. Actually, he hasn't shown anything, but I think he's the ability to be mid. But we'll just see how that goes. Kenneth Gainwell, I'll give him high C, somewhere in there because he hasn't gotten an opportunity to be a starter, but I think he's really solid. DJ Dallas, kind of in that middle of the C pack because he's just a good backup. Jeff Wilson, I'll put him low B because he played really well for the Dolphins overall, similar to Raheem Mostert. I'll put him literally right next to him or whatever. Marlon Mack, bad now. Elijah Mitchell, he's a good player. I'll put him in B. Leonard Fournette, give him like a mid. I mean, he's somewhere in the pack here. I mean, yeah. J.D. McKissick, he's going to be bad now, but he had a good receiving back career. I think something Davis Price or something. Bad. He hasn't done anything. Is this Joshua Kelly? No, Joshua Kelly did already go through him. Oh no, I think that might be Joshua Kelly. No, that's Joshua Kelly. I have no idea who this is, so he's probably bad. Mike Boone. Not see. He's just kind of bad. Hasn't done anything. Not his fault, but I don't know who this is, so they're going to bad. And then Justice Hill, he's a low tier C, maybe. I'll give him that, but he hasn't really shown anything in his career. He's been an okay backup. Never really been a starting caliber player, but I think he brings some stuff on special teams for the Ravens. So good for them, man. That is the list. I know we went through a ton of players. Thank you for sticking with me if you did. But yeah, man, tell me what your thoughts are on some of the players that I rated here. And yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments, man. And let me know what position you want to do next, whether that's quarterbacks or receivers, let me know. And if you disagree with the player I assessed poorly or something like that, let me know why. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.